Now, let's delve into the addition formulas for sine and cosine by using the transformation of a coordinate space. Some of you may already be familiar with these addition formulas, which facilitate the calculation of sine and cosine for sums or differences of angles. Let's explore how these formulas can be explained within a coordinate space. To begin, let's define two matrices. The first matrix rotates the coordinate space by alpha degrees. And the second matrix rotates the space by beta degrees. Now, let's see what these rotation matrices look like. A rotation matrix are comprising cosine theta, negative sine theta, and cosine theta, rotates the coordinate space by theta degrees. Let me explain how this matrix rotates the space. When we multiply the matrix by a vector, it gives us a new vector. Suppose the input vector is 1, 0. After the multiplication, the output vector will have values cosine theta and sine theta. If we plot this new vector on a two-dimensional plane, the angle between the two vectors is theta. Another way to think about this is that the coordinates of the same vector in the transform space becomes 1, 0, while in the original space, coordinates are cosine theta and sine theta because the coordinate space has been rotated. So in this transformed coordinate space, the vector's coordinates are 1, 0. Let's revisit the addition formulas for sine and cosine. Earlier, we had two rotation matrices. We'll call the first matrix, which rotates the space by alpha degrees, A, and the second matrix, which rotates the space by beta degrees, B. Now imagine we have another rotation matrix, C, which rotates the space by the angle alpha plus beta. Matrix C is the result of multiplying matrices A and B. Unlike most cases where the order of matrices in multiplication matters, with rotation matrices, it doesn't. So the result of matrix multiplication AB and BA are the same. Let's manually multiply the two matrices, starting with matrix B. The entries on matrix B are cosine beta, negative sine beta, and cosine beta. The entries of matrix A are cosine alpha, negative sine alpha, and cosine alpha. The first entry in the product of the two matrices is cosine beta times cosine alpha minus sine alpha times sine beta. The next entry is sine alpha times cosine beta plus cosine alpha times sine beta. Using the addition formulas for sine and cosine, these expressions simplify to cosine alpha plus beta, sine alpha plus beta, negative sine alpha plus beta, and lastly, cosine alpha plus beta. The first column of the resulting matrix aligns with these addition formulas. This example demonstrates how the multiplication of two rotation matrices can be understood through the lens of the sine and cosine addition formulas. Determinant is also a term frequently used in linear algebra. Let's explore the determinant of matrix A. Suppose we have a matrix A with values A, B, C, and D. We can calculate the determinant of matrix A by finding the value of A times D minus B times C. However, we're going to discuss the geometric interpretation of the determinant. Let's plot the two vectors represented by matrix A on a two-dimensional plane. Suppose A and C are 2, 1, and B and D are 1, 2. These two vectors on the plane represents each vector. We'll use the vectors 2, 1 and 1, 2 as the new axes of the plane. Under this new coordinate system defined by the two vectors, we can plot a point at coordinates 1, 1, which was originally located at 3, 3 in the original coordinate space. Now let's calculate the area inside the parallelogram formed by these vectors. One straightforward method to calculate the area is by dividing the parallelogram into smaller pieces like this. Considering that the area of the square containing the parallelogram is 9 and the area of the space not covered by the parallelogram is 6, we find that the area of the parallelogram is 3. As the coordinates in the transformed coordinate space are 1, 1 and in the original coordinate space are 3, 3, this illustrates what the matrix vector multiplication looks like. Using the formula above, we can calculate the determinants of matrix A, which is 4 minus 1 equals 3. Let's interpret the value of the determinant of the matrix conceptually. In the transformed coordinate space, each vector in the matrix defines ones. In the transformed coordinate space, the length of both vectors and the area of the parallelogram are 1. However, in the original coordinate space, the area of the parallelogram is 3 as we measured. So the determinant of matrix A signifies that the area of the parallelogram increases by 3 in the original coordinate space from 1 to 3. Now, let's imagine we increase the length of one side of the parallelogram to 2. The coordinates of the vector change to 2, 1 in the transformed space and 5, 4 in the original space. Let's observe how this change affects the area of the parallelogram. We'll scale the vector 2, 1 by 2, resulting in coordinates of 4, 2. Connecting vector 1, 2 to this scaled vector forms a new parallelogram. To measure its area, we split the square containing the parallelogram. The total area of the square is 20, with the uncovered area of 14, leaving the parallelogram's area as 6. In the transformed space, the parallelogram's area is 2, while in the original space, it increases to 6. Once again, we observe that the area of the parallelogram increases by 3, which corresponds to the determinants of the matrix. This method provides a straightforward explanation of the determinants of a matrix. Sometimes, the value of a matrix determinant is less than 0. Consider matrix A with entries 1, 2, 2, and 1. Calculating the determinant using the formula gives us -3. This matrix contains the same vectors as the one in the previous slide, but their order has changed. This change in order is why there's a negative sign in front of the 3. Let's delve into what the negative sign in front of the 3 signifies. In a typical two-dimensional plane, we usually label the horizontal axis as x and the vertical axis as y. Imagine we swap these labels. This switch results in a negative determinant. Here's why. To switch the labels of the axes, we need a new matrix. When a vector's coordinates on the plane with switched axes are 1, 0, its coordinates in the original space become 0, 1. Let's check the transformation of the coordinates in matrix vector multiplication. To achieve this transformation through matrix vector multiplication, we use the matrix 0, 1, 1, 0. This matrix has a determinant of -1. Therefore, switching the order or labels of the axes results in a negative determinant. In summary, a negative determinant indicates that the order of the axis has been reversed from that of the original space. Let's practice calculating the determinant of a matrix with an example. As previously explained, the determinant of a 2x2 matrix can be calculated using the formula AD minus BC. For a 3x3 matrix, we often use a method known as Cramer's rule, which you might have seen in linear algebra textbooks. Cramer's rule is sometimes referenced in AI research paper as well. So you might be interested in learning how to calculate the determinant of a 3x3 matrix. To calculate the determinant of a 3x3 matrix, we split it as follows. First, multiply the element A at the first row and first column by the determinant of the 2x2 matrix that remains after removing the row and column containing A. Next, multiply the element B at the first row and second column by the determinant of the 2x2 matrix that remains after removing the row and column containing B. Lastly, multiply the element C at the first row and third column by the determinant of the 2x2 matrix that remains after removing the row and column containing C. Therefore, the determinant of this 3x3 matrix is computed as A times the determinant of the 2x2 matrix formed by the second and third rows of the second and third columns, plus C times the determinant of the 2x2 matrix formed by the second and third rows of the first and second columns, minus B times the determinant of the 2x2 matrix formed by the second and third rows of the first and third columns. The reason for the negative sign in front of B, while the signs in front of A and C are positive, relates to the rules of the determinant calculation method, which alternate sign across the matrix. Specifically, the 2x2 matrix associated with B in the expansion is formed by the elements Fi and Dg. The determinant for the matrix Fi Dg is calculated as B times Fg minus Di. We put a negative sign in front of B because the order of Di and Gf is switched. To calculate the determinant of a 3x3 matrix, we split the matrix into 3 parts and sum the results from each. The process is similar when calculating the determinants of a 4x4 matrix. We divide the matrix into 4 components. The first component consists of A and the remaining 3x3 matrix. We then multiply A by the determinants of the 3x3 matrix. The second component contains B and the remaining 3x3 matrix. The remaining 3x3 matrix can be constructed like this. Then we multiply B by the determinants of the 3x3 matrix. This process is repeated for each column, and the results are summed up. In most cases, you don't need to perform this calculation by hand, so it's more important to understand the process rather than memorize it for practical applications.